There's no place I'd rather be.
Hey guys, welcome back to Talking Chelsea Blues. Welcome back to another video. We hope you're all doing well today. We are your hosts Ben and Mark. Thank you so much for joining us. This is your match review for Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0. But before we get into that, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Share this channel out as much as possible, guys. Share the video out. It really does help us out. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 0. A great win. You know, it's a step in the right direction considering our form before the World Cup. Wouldn't you agree, Dad?
Yeah, I think it was, especially in the first half, a great effort from the team. You know, it was playing like the old Chelsea. They turned up the heat a lot, and you know, they bagged the 2 goals. One coming from Kai Havertz and the other one coming from Mason Mount. In the second half, things, you know, were a little bit on the decline, a little bit scrappy. But overall, a win is a win. And, you know, it's taken us, you know, given us 3 points. And hopefully we'll start climbing the ladder now in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's lots of points to get through in this match. But before we get through those points, we're just going to talk about the goals. We've got to talk about the way we started the game. The way we started the game was good. It was constant. It was pressure. We were fast, dynamic, explosive. We were really expressing ourselves on the ball. And Bournemouth gave us space to do that. We looked dominant.
Yeah.
You know, we had that ability to just bang, a pass straight through the lines. And Bournemouth didn't know what to do with that. That we really took it to them. And that was exceptional. But we'll get into the goals in a minute. Dad, you've obviously got something to say.
Yeah, I think, you know, sort of like the key to the game as well was having Kepa in goal, you know, which I would much prefer to Mendy. You know, he makes so many errors in these games, and it costs us a lot of points as well. So, you know, yeah, we can go with Kepa, you know, to be our consistent goalkeeper, hopefully, now throughout this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think Kepa's going to be here next season, so what do? We're going to talk about that in a later video. We're going to talk about transfers we want to see in January, and then in the summer we're going to do another video towards the end of the season about that as well.
Well, let's just get the best out of him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
And, see what happens from there.
Exactly. Let's get into the goals. So the first goal came from Kai Havertz. It was a lovely ball down the right from Reece James straight into the path. Mason Mount straight into the path of Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling down the right hand side. He put a lovely ball into the box. Kai Havertz with a fabulous run, you know, to get into that position. You know, we don't usually see Kai Havertz making those sort of runs. He's usually a drop deep sort of striker, come and pick up the ball, turn and run with it. But he got into the right position, striker's instinct, and he put it away fantastically. Goalkeeper had no chance, and that was 1-0. Dad, did you thought when I saw that goal, I thought that's the Chelsea I want to see. That's the Chelsea under Graham Potter I expected to see. Also, it's also the Chelsea I saw under Thomas Tuchel from a lot of the time. Do you think we need to we can get this consistency to drive us forward now to continue to sort of build us up the ladder?
Well, I hope we can, and I hope that they go on now to play the other games with that intensity that they played last night. You know, we can't have any more losses or draws, especially. I think, you know, we need a certain continuity of wins now.
Yeah, maybe 3,
you know,
4 on the bench just to give us that consistency.
Because we're looking, you know, to have 3rd or 4th place. And, you know, we need that consistency of wins to regain that position in the Premier League. So, yeah, I just think, you know, they've got to pull their socks up. They've got to get out there now, you know, and fight for this position. I know the Premier League is way out of the question now. It takes some type of miracle to win it. But I hope that we can, you know, get Champions League status again. Yeah. And they just have to play, you know, with a whole heart, soul, and a, you know, that sound mindset. So let's just hope that this materialises and we get back to winning ways.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, going on into the second goal, then there was you know, a good passing movement from Koulibaly straight to Koulibaly. Bournemouth mistake. Koulibaly picked it up in the middle of the park, give it straight to Jorginho. Jorginho put a lovely ball through to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, you know, got blocked. Zakaria went to have a shot. Couldn't shoot in the end. Passed it to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz just saw Mount was in a lot of space, laid it off, and Mount put it in the net where the goalkeeper could not reach it. It was a fantastic finish. It was, you know, it was Lampard-esque. You know, coming to the edge of the box, having a shot. That is Lampard-esque. That is something we want to see. Mount played as an 8 last night, as an 8 alongside Zakaria and Jorginho in the midfield. And I think that's where Mount's best, coming from deep and being able to shoot from range.
Yeah.
That is what Mount's about. And I think if Mount can continue that, I think we'll see, you know, the best out of him for the rest of the season. If Potter continues to use this formation, I think this is where we'll see the best out of him. Dad, do you think like Mount as an 8 is better than seeing him as a number 10 higher up the pitch, or like outside on the left or the right? Do you think it's something that we need to see more often from Mount?
Yeah, I think, you know, that position suits him well, as you've seen him playing last night. I hope this has regained his confidence. You know, he's been off par for a number of games now. There was a brief spell where, you know, he was playing as he previously played, you know, back like 2 seasons ago. Yeah, I think that Mason Mount is a great player. Yeah, he just needs, you know, to sort of find his mojo, boost his confidence more. Yeah, and you know, he could be back to goal scoring ways. Let's hope. You know, fingers crossed on everything. But you know, let's just hope now this team goes from strength to strength, and that we have some new additions to it. You know, during the transfer window in January. Like I said previously, we need a whole new revamp in the Chelsea squad. And, you know, let's just start building ourselves for next season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we've got a run of games now where it's vital that we get consistency, and we'll talk a bit more about that in this video later on. Going into the second half, we started strongly in the second half. Everything looked well. You know, and the one thing I want to point out is, if we want to win the league, we have to play like that every game, not just for one half in one game. We have to play that like that in every single game. You know, first half, second half to the end of the game. There cannot be no like lackluster performances. You have to keep that consistency from minute 1 to minute 90 all the way through the game. You can't just stop and slow it down. I mean, there's times where you're going to find, you know, you have to slow the game down. But, unfortunately, that is what it is. And we'll I'm sure Potter's going to try and instill that into the players, hopefully. Also, going into the second half, you know, Bournemouth did try and fight back a little bit, but Kepa was very good on the night. Only had to make a few saves, and some of them were quite decent. And the other thing is Reece James. Reece James got injured last night and is now out for a month. Yeah. Reece James, we need to talk about this. I think it's important that we discuss it. Reece James this is now like his third big injury since last season, like where he had that hamstring issue and then the injury this season, and then a setback now. Could this hamper him for the rest of his career? Maybe. But Reece James is a fantastic player and a vital part of this team. You know, as soon as you've seen Reece James go off and Aspie come on, the tempo dropped. Everyone started to become a bit lackluster. And that's a worry, because should we be relying on Reece James too much? Like, this much? I don't think we should. Dad, I mean, I know you had a bit to say on Reece James and, you know, your thoughts, but do we rely on Reece James too much?
Yeah, possibly. You know, they do rely on Reece James a lot, mainly because he's an outstanding player. You know, he's very quick, skillful on the ball. Um, but you know, you've got to take into account his injuries. You know, we've put out that he's had a dreadful 2022 with his injuries. He didn't go to the World Cup. So yeah, I think you know with youth being on his side because he's only in his early 20s, isn't he, as well? I think, you know, he'd be quite resilient and, you know, heal quickly, let's hope. And we see him in the new year now, back playing in the team. Yeah, it is quite a great loss to the team. But, you know, what can I say? You know, he must nurture these injuries now and you know, get back to top form. Yeah, but you know, we can't afford to have any more injuries. You know, this is what was happening. You know, during the early part of this season, was that players were being injured and we were losing, you know, not one or two, but three or four players.
Yeah,
you know,
and
key
that's
players as well.
And that's the problem we have. We have always had it, and we always seem to get injuries, major injuries to major players, and they're out for months. I'm going to talk you through a few now. Fofana has been injured this season massively. Reece James injured this season a couple of times. Then we've had Armando Broja, who we won't see now till probably middle of next season. That's a shame. I think we have to take in consideration now our squad depth needs to be good if we want to fight for titles. You know, you can't just have one, two, maybe three good players. Every position needs to be filled with a world-class player. Yes, we have the likes of Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, you know, Mount, Zakaria, Kante. You know, Kante is another major player who's been injured a lot this season and we won't be seeing him until like late February, early March. So it's now a case of we need some fresh blood in the squad to, you know, overcome this. And I think it's important that we realise that we can't play these players as much as we are, and it's vigorous, constant vigorous training, constant vigorous games, and that's why they get injured. So how do we manage that? Well, that's down to Graham Potter and his team to decide, and his coaching staff to decide. Exactly. So I just hope that he sees sense and he manages the players well as they come back now. But guys, that's the end of today's video. Please make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Let us know your thoughts on the injury. Let us know your thoughts on the goal. We'd love to hear it. As I said, if you are new to the channel, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Turn that notification bell icon on to be notified when we upload. Share this channel out as much as possible, guys. Share the video out. It really does help us out. We have been talking Chelsea Blues. We have been your hosts, Ben and Mark. And until later, guys, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.